Okay, so here's the train linkage arm. You can see on here that it's the same on both sides. So this is a good part to make with a mirror, and you can either mirror it in a sketch or you can mirror it in a solid. So if we look at this one, you can see that the basic sketch itself started out with just drawing a line right here and then creating it over and then mirroring the whole sketch and then extruding the part. You can also extrude just your mirrored piece and then mirror the extrusion. So let's take a look and see how this one is made. Again, I won't be using any dimensions. You'll have to use the proper dimensions, but you can get the idea from the part here. So we're going to create our sketch. It's a pretty straightforward one. I like to use the rectangle tool for this. I can go ahead and create my linkage arm. There's the length of it. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and make my circles out on the ends, and then my inner circle there, and then use the trim tool to trim away all the stuff that I don't need from this drawing. You can leave those, and we'll trim that away. Okay, so that leaves me with a solid that looks like this that I can then extrude like so, and I'm going to make it a heck of a lot narrower. Okay, so there's one half of my linkage, and then I can come up to this area in the top on the ribbon under the patterns, and I'm going to use the mirror. I'm going to pattern this feature, and I'm going to mirror it left to right like so, and that gives me my wireframe over here. I can click OK, and that gives me my linkage arm. Alright, so that's one way to do it. I can also go into my sketch, choose my whole piece. In the same exact way under patterns, I can mirror using the mirror line of the center piece here, and then click apply, and you can see it mirrors it there. And then I can extrude these two halves into the linkage arm as well. So I can do it two different ways. It works both ways. It's a good idea to dimension all these first though. Okay, so that's the linkage arm. Real simple and straightforward, but the idea is that you can use these patterns to do half the work. Lots of objects are the same on both sides. I did want to point out while I'm here is I've got the wheel for the train. It's a real fancy shape, looks real complicated, but if you look over here, it's pretty straightforward. Starts out with a simple revolve. You can see it starts with this shape. This shape revolves around and gives me the solid wheel. So if I suppress these, you can see it's a solid disc, and then I just start and then I just cut that out, and then I pattern it around, which gives me my circular pattern. Then I can just do some extrusion. So it's a pretty straightforward process. Nothing on the train is very complicated, but they are new, and so you just need to practice with them. But that's the wheel. So next up, I'm going to show you how to start constraining some pieces together and locking them together so that you can use them to make your toy train a whole toy instead of just parts and pieces.